Hey, welcome back. So excited to be able to dive in again today to some more content that's really going to help you have higher conversions in your sales process, which who doesn't want that, right? Making more money. All right, today we're going to talk specifically about the power of story within sales and specifically on the dynamic of the hero and the guide. Okay, so if you think about content that you remember, whether it's emails that you read, bulletin boards, Instagram posts, Facebook, what really typically will stand out in your brain, in your mind, is something that's attached to a story. So it could even be like a story, a description of, hey, don't you love, instead of saying something like, oh, my car smelled so amazing after I used this air freshener, right? You would get into more of a story mode with that content and say, when I stepped into the car, it smelled like the fresh pine, just like when I chopped down my Christmas tree. Now, you're going to remember the second one more than the first, right? So the power of story is super important when we're having authentic sales. We know that there's a hero and there's a guide within any storyline. So let's take, for example, we got Star Wars coming out, right? So let's take that for example. Yoda is the guide to Luke Skywalker, right? So Luke's actually the hero of the story, but Luke can't accomplish what he needs to accomplish in, getting Darth Vader out of the way and all this kind of stuff without Yoda. So Yoda's the guide in this story. Often, as brands, we position ourselves as the hero, and that does not work well in marketing and in sales, because when a hero senses that there's another hero showing up, they're going to say, not really, but in their mind, well, I'm a hero and I'm on my journey. What I'm really looking for is a guide to help me get to this point in my journey. So we want to make sure that we're positioning ourselves like that guide, not as the hero. Every hero in a story has a problem, has a pain, has desire that they need to move out of where they are into something new. And that's exactly what we do as a brand positioned as the guide. So here are some maybe examples as we think about how to change our copy and our positioning from being the hero of the story to the guide. So basically, it's kind of like making sure that you're not appearing like you're the shit and like showing up like the hero is the shit. I mean, that's kind of like the street lingo of what I'm trying to say. So instead of saying, I sell the best coffee in the universe and I've gotten these awards and competed and blah, blah, blah. I mean, no offense, but people don't really care. The buyer doesn't care that much about your accolades and you being the shit and you doing all these amazing things, unless it particularly pertains to their pain. It's just kind of like noise. So instead of talking about how your coffee is the best coffee in the world and you've won all these awards, why don't we flip the script and talk about them? Talk about how we know how hard you work and how much you deserve the coffee that will get you motivated, get you to that next place. So we designed this coffee for that high achiever who needs that caffeine jolt. Okay, that's all about them, not about you, right? So that's the kind of copy, that's the kind of positioning we want to do in our storytelling. So for me, as a business coach for female entrepreneurs, I could talk about all of my accolades, all my certifications, what I've done in my companies, and to an extent, there's a small part of that that's relevant in making sure that your hero knows that you are an expertise guide, that you know what you're talking about. But really, we should spend a majority of the time talking about them. So, for example, I would talk about, I know that there are so many, that you are a woman on a mission and that you've created a company that's generating a full-time income, but you're ready for more. You have more to offer the world. You have more magic to bring. You have higher packages to sell, more impact to make, and you need somebody to really help you get from where you are now to where you want to be. You want to work less hours and make more money and make more impact. That's what I love helping people do. Okay, so now I'm positioning the story all about them as the hero, and I'm simply showing how I can be the guide, getting them from where they are to where they want to move. So think about your company right now. What is the content that you put out on your social platforms, in your emails, in your copy on your website, in your conversations? And how can you make sure that you are so savvy about positioning your customer as the hero and you as the guide? Not only does this help, obviously, in our conversion, but I think it positions us well in the fact of we're here to serve. Sales is about service, showing up for people, showing up where they are and saying, this is how I can help. So when you go later on into the sales process and you're on that call, it's very, very important that you're hearing, is this my hero? Can I be their guide? Can I move them out of their pain or not? That allows us to have really true, authentic sales, because if we don't feel like we're their guide or they're not our hero, we need to be very okay saying, hey, I don't think this is a great fit. Let me outsource you to somebody else, right? This gives us integrity in our selling. So think about this as you reflect on your company. Who is the hero? How are they hero? How are they the hero? How can you evolve your copy, evolve your content to be sure that these two elements of your story are portrayed correctly? All right, get to work.